Hello, you beautiful people. So, are you curious about the upcoming character banners coming in Honkai Star Rail, and you want to plan your Jades to pull for your favorite unit? Well, fortunately for you, you've landed on the absolute perfect video to get that info. Today, I'm going to tell you guys about all the character banners that are going to be featured from patch 2.7 to 3.1, and we'll also discuss about some speculations on the rerunning characters. Along with this, we'll also discuss about all the info that we have right now on some upcoming characters and XPs like Alicia, Madame Herta, and a new DOT support. Before we begin though, these are the 5 winners for the giveaway that I hosted in my previous video, and if you see your username being displayed on the screen, just comment down your UID in the community post, and I will make sure to gift you the pass whenever I see your comment. Also, I'm hosting another 5 Express Pass giveaway in this video as well, and if you want to enter it, just leave a comment down in the comment section, and that's pretty much it. You don't need to be subscribed to the channel or anything like that, so do keep that in mind. Good luck to everyone who is participating, and the winners will be announced in the next video. Okay, moving on from the giveaway, let me mention the usual and boring disclaimer that everything which I mention in this video is totally based on speculations and not set in stone, and it can be changed at any point of time. So please take all this info with a grain of salt. With all that yapping done, let's begin without wasting any more of your time or energy. So, starting with the limited banners for version 2.7, we already know that this patch is going to feature 2 really hyped characters, and to absolutely no one's surprise, these characters are Sunday and Fugue. Going by the official drip marketing order, Sunday is going to be featured in the first half of the patch, while Fugue will get her featured banner in the second half of 2.7. Next up, if the patch schedule remains the same, Sunday's banner is going to go live on December 4th for the Asia and Europe servers, and December 3rd for the America servers. Now, following the same schedule, Fugue's banner will go live exactly on the day of Christmas for all the servers, and we can finally welcome her back on our accounts. Let's take a quick little detour and discuss what Sunday and Fugue does in detail, just to help you guys decide who you want to pull for. Okay, starting with Sunday, he is an imaginary type character who follows the path of harmony. And he is basically like an upgraded version of Bronya for normal hypercarry teams, but a really broken support for all the summon-based units like Jing Yuan, Ling Sha, and some other upcoming characters releasing from patch 3.0. Right now, Sunday's kit seems pretty good overall, and he provides a lot of buffs to your entire team while consuming almost no skill points if you also pull for his light cone along with him. Honestly though, I think we can't really determine how good Sunday's kit is right now because he is mainly designed for the upcoming summon-based units coming in patch 3.0, so we'll see how well he synergizes with those units. All in all, if you're interested in this summon-based playstyle, or if you're a Jing Yuan and a crit Lingsha main, you should definitely consider pulling for our lord. Okay, moving on to Fugue. She is a fire-type character who follows the path of nihility, and she mainly plays the role of a super break support on your team. She provides the ability to deal super break damage and an exo toughness bar to all the enemies just by standing on the field and doing nothing, so that's already really good. Basically, if you're interested in the break archetype, and if you enjoy playing any of the break-based DPSs like Firefly, Boothill, or Rappa, I would say Fugue is quite literally one of the best characters that you can pull for, and you definitely won't regret pulling her unless she gets nerfed or something like that. Welp, that's all the limited banners which are going to be featured in patch 2.7. Moving on to the reruns for this patch, I think we've all noticed a pattern that whenever they release a new character, they decide to rerun another character who is really synergistic with this new character. And I think they're going to follow the same pattern in 2.7 as well, because the reruns for this patch will most likely be Firefly and Jing Yuan. Jing Yuan will be featured in the first half of the patch alongside Sunday's banner, and he is going to get buffed quite a lot by Sunday, so I think it makes a lot of sense to put a Jing Yuan rerun in this patch. Dude, this guy has received buffs from literally every new 5-star support, and he will receive even more buffs from our lord as well, so that's something, I guess. Now, as for the Firefly rerun, it's pretty much for the same reasons as the Jing Yuan rerun because Firefly synergizes perfectly with Fugue, and I think they will definitely try to milk our wallets right before they slap us in the face with the 3.0 banners. Lastly, I personally don't believe there will be a triple rerun banner in version 2.7, but if they do decide to feature that banner in this patch, it will most likely take place in the second half, and it will feature Firefly, Ruan Mei, and Boothill. Yeah, they're going to sell you the whole Super Break package by throwing in Ruan Mei alongside Boothill and Firefly in a triple rerun banner, and I can already see a lot of people going in debt due to this banner. Trust me though, I'm literally in the same boat as you guys because I need to pull for Sunday and his light cone in the first half, and after that, I also need to pull Fugue and Firefly's E2 in the second half. I think my wallet is most likely crying right now, but it is what it is. Also, do keep in mind that these reruns are totally based on speculations made by me, and the actual rerun banners might be a little bit different, so don't take any of this info too seriously. With that said though, we're finally done discussing the character banners which are going to be featured in patch 2.7. By the way, for someone who might be confused, the sources have not found any info related to patch 2.8, and this most likely indicates that patch 2.8 doesn't really exist and will move directly from version 2.7 to version 3.0. Okay, starting with the limited banners for patch 3.0, we're going to see a total of 2 new characters in this patch, as per the usual HSR tradition, and these characters are going to be Aglia and Madame Herta's Emanator form. Yep, the banners are actually a little bit cruel because after we spend all our savings on Sunday and Fugue, they're going to slap us right in the face by putting Madame Herta's Emanator form in version 3.0. From what the sources stated, Aglia will be featured in the first half of the patch along with the new planet's release, and Madame Herta will be featured in the second half of 3.0. We actually have a little bit info on both of their kits and how they will function overall, so let's take a quick look at that next before moving on to the reruns for this patch. So, starting with Aglia, she is going to be a destruction type unit who mainly plays the role of a summon-based main DPS unit. Now, there's actually something quite interesting about Aglia, and this thing is that while her summon will deal lightning damage to the enemy, Aglia might deal a different elemental damage like ice or physical. Basically, Aglia will most likely turn out to be our first dual element DPS in the entire game, and I have to say, a dual element character does sound really interesting and somewhat fun to play as well. Honestly, I would have considered pulling for her just because of the summon-based and dual element playstyle, but Madame Herta's banner starts right after her banner, and I think there is quite literally no force that can stop me from pulling on Madame Herta's banner. Okay, seeing as we're already talking about Madame Herta, her 5-star form is going to be an Ice-type unit who follows the path of erudition just like her 4-star form, and she also plays the role of a main DPS on your team. From the info that we have right now, Madame Herta's main damage source is going to be her skill, and she also has an ability which lets her regenerate some energy whenever her allies use their own respective ultimates, which honestly sounds really good. All in all, I think they wouldn't mess up Madame Herta's kit considering the hype around her, and she is also an emanator of erudition, which pretty much means that she will have a really good kit just like Acheron. Also, if you're confident that you're going to pull for her just like me, you might want to start farming the new relic domain that released just now in patch 2.6, because this scholar set will most likely be Madame Herta's preferred or best in slot relic set. Welp, that's all the limited or new character banners which are going to be featured in version 3.0. Not wasting any time and moving on to the reruns for this patch, I think the 2 most likely reruns are going to be Jade and Dr. Ratio. Honestly though, the only rerun that I'm somewhat confident about is Jade, and that's because Jade is probably going to synergize really well with Herta's 5-star form, just like she synergizes really well with Herta's 4-star form. Other than this, the Chinese New Year for 2025 is also going to take place around the duration of patch 3.0, and this year is going to be the year of the snakes. So I think a Jade rerun makes quite a lot of sense because her design and gameplay is heavily based around snakes. Also, I don't think this patch will feature a triple rerun banner either, because there is going to be a huge influx of new and returning players in this patch, and I don't think they will want to overwhelm all these players with a triple rerun banner right from the very start. Yep, we're finally done with all the character banners that are going to be featured in patch 3.0. Lastly, let's discuss about the little bit of info that we have on some upcoming characters releasing from patch 3.1 onwards. So, there are going to be a total of 2 new characters in version 3.1, and one of them is going to be a quantum-type unit who follows the path of abundance, and they are obviously going to play the role of a sustain on your team. Basically, this character is going to be a sustain specifically designed for the DOT archetype, and this is actually really good for the DOT enjoyers out there, because I know you guys have been starving for quite a long while. I think this unit's healing is probably going to be similar to that 1SU Blessing, which heals all your allies whenever an enemy takes DOT damage, but we'll see how it works out, I guess. Next up, we don't have much info on the other character which is going to be featured in patch 3.1 alongside this DOT healer, so my apologies for that one. Finally though, let's talk about a really popular character from Honkai Impact 3rd, which might become playable as an XP unit in version 3.4, and the character which I'm talking about is none other than Alicia. Just like the 3.1 characters, we don't really have any info on her as of now, but we do know that her new design will be based around a butterfly or a fairy, with a pinkish and purplish color scheme. Dude, not to simp or anything in front of you guys, but why in the world does this character look so good? Like, if she actually became playable in HSR, I might just have to skip everyone after Madame Herta and save all my jades just for her. Well, there you go. That's all the character banners that are going to be featured from version 2.7 to 3.1 in Honkai Star Rail. I'm curious now, who are you guys pulling for in the upcoming patches? Personally, I'm going to focus on getting Sunday and Fugue first in 2.7, and after that, I will save all my jades for Madame Herta. Also, I didn't mention it before as it gets annoying, but if you liked the video, then do consider subscribing. With that being said, I love y'all and I will see you in another one.